The following program may contain strong language and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, I'm Donta.
And hey, I'm Dana.
And welcome to the Donta Show.
What's up, Village? It's your boy Kwame, the man with the plan behind the stands. I'm going to go ahead and make this quick because some of y'all got mouths and be talking mess in the comments and saying that the intro commercial is too long. So, I got something for you. Here we go. Let's get into it. Before we bring out these awesome kings, I need you to stop what you're doing. Excuse me? Excuse me? Ma'am? Sir? You? Yeah, you! Whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube, I need you to go ahead and share this live stream. Donta and Dana didn't get all dressed up for you not to share their melanated goodness. So share. You share everything else up in here. Share some quality content for your boys. Now that we mentioned YouTube, are you subscribed to the Donta Show's YouTube? Oh, you're not? Oh, girl. I'm going to need y'all to get it together. Join the village. Go over to www.youtube.com/Donta Morrison. And when you get a chance, head over to Dr. Morrison's. That's right, your boy got his PhD. Head over to Dr. Donta Morrison's website, www.dontamorrison.com, where you can learn more about the man, the myth, the legend known as Donta. And while you're at it, grab some TDS merch and his books. Yes, purchase those smutty books filled with smut. Grab The End of the Rainbow and Yesterday Clarified. And last but not least, head over to the company that put this all together, Pyro Media Network. Pyro Media Network is a proactive network focused on providing an innovative space for content creators and entrepreneurs. PMN is dedicated to giving its viewers a diverse entertainment experience while helping content creators elevate their production, engagement, and overall branding. To date, PMN has reached over 1 million viewers and listeners internationally, produced over 52 successful shows with high ratings and fanfare, and has housed over 60 content creators, brands, and businesses through entertainment and consulting services exclusive to PMN. Pyro Media Network is a network that makes you feel at home. So if you have an idea for a show, podcast, or need some professional video and audio production for your business or brand, then join the Pyro family today. Go ahead and visit www.pyromedianetwork.com and we will show you how to go to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please help me welcome my brothers from another mother, the dynamic duo, the melanated kings themselves, Donta and Dana. Let's get it. Let's go!
What up, Village? Happy Tuesday, or Taco Tuesday, as many of you like to say it. I need to get a Tuesday intro because on Tuesday, Dana ain't here. I'm normally solo bolo. So instead of Kwame saying the Kings, it should be the King is here on Tuesday. Let's see what we can do with that. Y'all like this deep voice I'm rocking? What? I'm giving trade. For those that know what trade is, you'll catch it. Those that don't, inbox me. I'll educate you. It's Tuesday. We're going to have a phenomenal conversation on tonight. My special guest is Daryl Walter, and Daryl is no stranger to the Donta Show. Daryl is my brother friend. We go way, way, way back. We have a lot of memories, a lot of history, and Daryl is an all-around awesome person, and I'm glad to have him on the show on tonight. But before I bring Daryl on, I gotta meet and greet the family. What's up, village? How are y'all doing? I see the folks watching there over on the YouTube. I see Daryl Leslie over there on the YouTube. I see Sharitha Johnson on the U and the Tizoob. So what it do, family? Listen, this is your time to invite your friends, your family, your cousins, and your loved ones to come on in and check out the Donta Show. You know how we do every Monday and Tuesday. I jump on here and I chop it up with you. I try to give you some good insight, some information, uplift you, motivate you, make you feel better about yourself and the world around you, while doing that and bringing some laughter because we all need to laugh every now and then. St. James, you got that? What it do, King? Holla at your boy. I'm just saying. So we are here for another round of the Donta Show. I ask that you please make sure to follow us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/Donta Morrison and click that subscribe button, and you will instantly be added to the village. You're part of the family. JT, is that you? JT is in the house. JT has showed up and showed out. JT has made it known that he is here watching the Donta Show. JT is my brother friend. I love that dude. 100% loyal. I love real and true people. JT is my brother. So it's good to see you out there in the audience, man. I appreciate you. So listen, like I said, make sure to subscribe to the Donta Show, and you don't want to miss what's coming in 2023. I'm telling you, the game is about to be elevated. Why? Because I was elevated in 2022. I'm no longer that dude. I'm a whole doctor, a real doctor, not just a doctor, by just title. I'm a doctor because I earned it. I have a PhD. So in 2023, I'm going to put that doctorate to use on YouTube and on social media. So you're going to see a lot of big things coming in 2023. So stay tuned, stay ready. The Bible says don't despise small beginnings. So it doesn't matter how you start. It's all about how you end. So, there was a time when I'd be like, oh my God, nobody's following the show. Oh my God, nobody's subscribing. Oh my God. But you know what? It toughened my skin, for one. It thickened me, and it made me realize that it's all about quantity and not quality. Quantity. Kwame is inboxing me and throwing me off. Kwame, stop. You're distracting me. I got to focus. I'm trying to be deep with the people. It's all about quality and not quantity. What you bring, does it have value? Does it have some substance? Does it have some meat? Or are you bringing something that's going to make the people want more because they're leaving hungry? So I try to bring quantity to the YouTube thing. All right. Kwame threw me all the way off, all in asking me, bruh, I'm trying to be with the people right now. All right. So listen, on my Facebook page, I asked a question earlier, and I want you guys to chime in. The question was, name a lie that you were told as a child that you believed until adulthood. Name a lie that you were told as a child that you believed into adulthood. The one thing that I put was, I believed if you talked on the phone during a thunderstorm, you would get electrocuted. That was something that I believed. I believed as a child growing up because I was told if you talk on the phone during a thunderstorm, you're going to get electrocuted. Of course, nowadays, these kids have no idea what a rotary phone looks like, or a phone that has a cord that can go all through the house. They don't know about that life. Nothing about that life. So it's all about, what were you raised up to believe that you had to become an adult before you realized it was a lie? And some people on my page, on my Facebook page, they commented, and it is some stuff that is like hilarious. One was, if you stand too close to the microwave, you'll go blind. If you stand too close to the microwave, you'll go blind, period. That was one. Another one was, if you sit too close to the TV, You will go blind. I remember that. How many of y'all were little kids and your parents would come and pull you back from the console TV because you sit on the floor because the TV's right in front of you? They'll pull you back and say, you're going to go blind. You're sitting too close to the TV. How many of y'all experienced that one? How many of y'all experienced the story of step on a crack and break your mother's back? So literally all the way to school, you sitting there playing hopscotch all the way to school because you don't want to break your mama's back. Huh? Think about it. Think about it. People always used to, when I grew up, that I was told, let me see. Oh, here's another. If you crack your knuckles, they will get big when you're grown. So for the longest time, I was scared to crack my knuckles because I don't want to have big old huge knuckles when I grew up. That's what I was told. If you crack your knuckles, they're going to be big when you grow up. Or how about this one? If you flipped your eyelid up and a fly lands on it, it would get stuck like that. If you flip your eyelids up and a fly lands on it, you'll get stuck like that. What did y'all hear about? Come on. JT said, I was told that coffee will stunt your growth. Coffee will stunt your growth. Z Will was told carrots will give you good eyesight. If you sit there and eat carrots like Bugs Bunny, you will get good eyesight. Think about that. I was also told by my uncles, if you eat pickles, your voice will go deep. If you eat pickles. So imagine me at the age of 12 and 13 walking around with a jar of Vlasics trying to get my voice to go deep, to go down a few octaves. So I'm just eating pickles back to back to back. To this day, I'm not a fan of pickles for that reason because I was traumatized and I was scarred by that. Of course, it's bad luck to put your wallet or purse on the floor because you'll be broke. You don't set your purse or your wallet on the floor because you'll be broke. Not saying that is a lie, but it's something that we were told when we were little. Let me see. Hold on, let me see. What else were we told? I'm scrolling through this thing. If you sweep your feet with a broom, you will never get married. If you sweep your feet with a broom, you will never get married. Now let me tell you something. I know Eddie Eason is watching. When I'm cleaning the kitchen and he walks in the kitchen and I sweep his foot, Eddie will spin around 3 times, grab some salt, and throw it over his shoulder. Don't ask me why. But that is some inherent learned stuff because if you sweep somebody's foot, oh my goodness, you have just brought in some kind of hoodoo, some voodoo, and all kind of stuff. But this brother will stop where he's at, set his plate down, and circle 3 times, look for the salt, and throw it over his shoulder. I'm like, bruh, it's a broom. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Sharita said, if you walk in with someone and you split the pole, it's bad luck. I did that before. I split the pole with somebody and that person literally ran back around the pole to get on the side I was on to walk next to me. I was like, what are you doing? What is that all about? So, I'm just saying, let me see. Yeah, I was talking about crack arthritis. If I crack my knuckles, I'll get arthritis. Z, I heard that one too. If you crack your knuckles, you will get arthritis. It's just the stuff we believe in. Lawana, what are you a believer of? What you a believer of, cuzzo? The sweeping the broom thing or splitting the pole thing? Which one? And it's something that, sister, I've been lied to my whole life. We hear these wise tales. We hear all this stuff growing up, and we hold it near and dear and true to our heart. Why? Because our grandmama, our auntie, or somebody told us that this is the facts, this is the truth, this is how it is. If you want to get married, don't do this. If you can't, come on here. Sharita said, if you soak the floor when washing dishes, your husband will be a drunk. If you soak the floor while washing dishes, your husband will be a drunk. So it's like if you're washing dishes and water comes out and gets all over the floor, your husband's going to be a drunk. Okay. So now Lawana is like, now I know when I'm walking with Lawana, I bet not ever split the pole. Do not split the pole because we got to go back and get that pole thing together. But that washing dishes one, what's up, Keem? I see you, bro. If you soak the floor when washing dishes, your husband will be a Sharita. When I tell you, I think you just silenced the whole thread. We all sitting back like, huh, really? Now I did hear this one. This one is a little now y'all kid right. Say what you will about that one. But somebody said I'm looking at my Facebook thread, and yo, this is a holy show. We don't say this kind of stuff, but for the purpose of the concept we're talking about. If you play with yourself, you will go blind. If you play with yourself, you will go blind. It'll be a whole lot of Stevie Wonders out there if that were true. Some of y'all right now would not be seeing me. Some of y'all right now would be like, is the Donta Show on? Oh, I sure like his voice. How does he look? I ain't never seen that boy a day in my life. I ain't seen nobody since I was 12 years old. If that one was true, if you touch yourself in a special way, you will go blind. Can you imagine if that were true? For one thing, traffic would be a breeze because no one would be on the freeway because no one could drive. Oh, but there'll be a shortage of CNI dogs. Oh, I tickle me. No, don't tickle me too much because I'll go blind. So I don't know. I did hear that one too. And when I was younger, I'll be like, okay, I'm not blind. So maybe that's a lie. So, okay, let me stop. Because some of y'all right now, it's like, okay. Anyway, so y'all, thank y'all for rocking with me on tonight. We're gonna bring on my special guest. Daryl Walter, like I said at the top of the show. I've been knowing this dude for a long time. But hold on, wait. Let me give a shameless plug because my cousin doesn't oftentimes get to watch the show because she does hair. So my cousin Lawana Harris is watching, and she and her best friend Javelin, they have a phenomenal show on YouTube. It's called Girls That Wine. And they are not they're not sommeliers. They are wine enthusiasts. So if you love wine, if you are a wine drinker, if you want to know how to blend your wine and pair your wine and know about the history of wine, check out Girls That Wine on YouTube. Cuzzo, if you can put the link to your YouTube page in the chat section, I'll have Kwame share it. But I want you guys to get the support that you deserve because your show is amazing. I had them come out and do a presentation with some young people and not young people, some young adults, and they rocked it. I mean, they rocked it. They did a breakdown of the wines and which you eat the wines with, and we did the wine tasting. Girls That Wine, I mean, just check out their YouTube page. And also you can book them to just come out and host a wine tasting event at your house. They'll bring the wines and they're going to charge you. They'll bring the wines, they'll bring all the accompaniments, and they will give you a great time just tasting wines from a fun, I don't want to say hood, but urban approach. It's an urban approach. It's a fun-loving urban approach to wine tasting. So Jay and Lou, Girls That Wine, check them out on that U and that tube, and you will get your life. And then follow them on Instagram as well. Girls That Wine on Instagram. They do a show. I think almost every Wednesday they do a live. But if you love some wine, but you don't feel like you can't get to Napa, you can't get to Martha's Vineyard, but you want to just have a little wine taste, off of Crenshaw and King, hit them up. They'll come through. All right, so let's get into this conversation with my special guest, Daryl Walter. So Daryl, like I said, friend, brother, confidant, ride or die. We've had phenomenal conversations over the course of the years, and I just love this dude with like all my heart. He's 100%. He is true. He is loyal, and I truly consider him a friend. So without further ado, Village, please put your hands together and welcome Daryl Walter. What's up, Daryl?
What's going on? How are you tonight?
Hey, can you see me?
I can see you.
You're not blind?
I don't know what you're talking about. I personally am. No, don't do it. I'm a virgin.
'Cause you are saved and sanctified.
and filled with something.
Yeah.
See, there you go. There you go. The lies. There you go. This bitch, I'm telling you, trifling.
I'm just saying. So I am tickling myself. So Daryl, what was one of the things you heard growing up that you thought was true?
That my daddy was coming back. Is it too early? Too early? No. He was going to the grocery store.
Ooh. Okay. And he's still getting that milk and cigarettes, huh?
Yeah, still. So I realized at 21, he ain't coming back.
It was a long ride.
No, but for real. So one thing growing up, you know, my mom's side is Caribbean, so it was always anytime somebody's knee was hurting or elbow was hurting, it was about to start thundering and raining.
It's as bad as that my left hand itching, some
Yeah.
money is coming, or right hand itching, the money is leaving, something like that. And it's really folks that to this day still, oh my God, my hand is itching, some money is on its way. Well, you need some calamine lotion.
Yeah, exactly.
You got a rash.
Exactly.
So Daryl, welcome back to the show yet again. And you are constantly evolving. You are constantly making moves. And I just love your energy. A few times you've been on the show, we've talked about religion and spirituality and faith and just navigating that space. But people also don't know you're a musician, you know, you're a singer. You've done just so much in just this short amount of time. And you know what I always think about life, and not to sound morbid, but we're dead longer than we're alive.
Okay.
You know, and I think that if people would start to live with that mindset, you know, that we are only alive for like a microcosm of a moment. We are dead a lot longer than we are alive. And what do you do in that small space where you are living? What do you do? What are you taking advantage of? How are you trying to thrive and how are you trying to exist? Are you more so just focused on, you know, I got to do it? No, you're alive. We're not alive a long time.
Right.
In comparison to how long we're going to be dead. We're going to be dead forever, you know. So you think about that, and I look at your life, and I look at all the spaces that you have navigated and how you have evolved over and over and over, and you're constantly growing. It's such a beautiful thing to watch you, you know, because you really you do the work. Not to sound like Ayanla, but you do the work.
I do. I feel like I've traveled a road, and I think I have questioned things that a lot of people in life wouldn't necessarily question.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if we go back to religion and spirituality, I know that what I've done is something a lot of people want to do. You know what I mean? In regards to challenging my faith, challenging what I believe, if I do believe in certain things. Right. You know, even with music, I've gone after a lot of stuff. And I would say that journey has led me up to now. Like each time I've been on the show, I've been in different spaces, right? And I've allowed myself to be transparent, you know, and honest and open. And I think all of it has just kind of led to like this moment now. You know what I'm saying?
And this moment being that you are now one of the newest members of the Pyro family, and you have a show starting. I mean, it's coming soon. I asked Kwame to put it in the private chat. He didn't do it, but you know, so there. Oh, okay. I'm just saying.
You know, but November 2nd, next week, Wednesday at 4:00. Every Wednesday at 4:00, I will be live with the Daryl Walter Show. And it will be a show talking about, if you follow me on TikTok, for those of you who don't follow me on TikTok, follow me on TikTok at I am Daryl Walter. And I've shared everything from my experience with my sexuality to therapy to family and some funny mess around church and different, artists and celebrities. But the one thing is, I will say, like, there's a lot of bloggers out there who are just talking about gossip, which is fine because I get it. We all love it. But for me, when I talk about things, it comes back to how people can relate to it. And hopefully people can get something out of it and make them think and maybe challenge themselves. One of my big platforms that I'm on is about therapy and about mental health.
What about therapy? Because I did a talk last night. For those that missed last night's show, you can always catch it on our YouTube page. All of our shows are archived. Check out the Donta Show on YouTube, Pyro Media on YouTube. And last night, I think the last 15 minutes of the show, it was a good show last night. I love me some Dana. And we talked about Kanye and what's going on with Kanye right now, and not to trigger anyone like, oh my God, I can't talk about Kanye no more. I really kind of unpacked the mental health side of it, just the bipolar side, the manic side of it. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I cannot diagnose anybody, but he is exhibiting behaviors of his diagnosis. And I think that when we begin to look at just his erratic outbursts, him saying what's on his mind, no matter the cost, no matter the loss and all that, it's a clarion call that we need access to mental health services, that Black men need to get into therapy. Black men need a couch. Black men need to stop being told to just push through. Sometimes you see it. Eddie, close the door. Sometimes you gotta pause and just say, yo, I need to sit down for a minute and really process what is going on. And I think that's what I love about your journey, how you talked about just your battle with religion, Christianity, spirituality, and all that, and how you just had to take some time to figure out where you best landed. So your mental health journey, if you don't mind, can we just kind of talk about it for a minute?
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of go from the very, very beginning, for those of you out there, if you've been following me for some time, I had an internet radio show. I was on a Christian network, and that was about 2 years ago, Donta. And I abruptly stopped it and kind of went on this sabbatical. And then the pandemic happened. And I'll tell you honestly, it's been about a year. I was going to church and I just had, I would probably say, the final breakdown, where I just had days where I would just like cry uncontrollably. I was involved in church. And for those of you out there, a lot of you know me from church in the Los Angeles area. I was involved in church out here. I was involved in ministry and doing a lot of things. And I was going to work, but I was really unhappy. And so I had a moment with some friends that didn't go well, and it made me break down even more. And I realized, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and go to therapy. I dropped out of church. I dropped out of ministry, the choir, everything. Respectfully, I called the leaders. And I made a decision to stop going to church. I started going to therapy. And it's just been a journey. I will say it's just been a journey that I uncovered a lot of things in therapy about myself from childhood that I had been holding on to, and that those things that I hadn't dealt with were honestly dictating how I was living and how I was viewing things. One of the things that I know your doctorate in as far as church and gay men in church, but just the effect that growing up in church, and I'm specific, I grew up in the Church of God in Christ, how much of an effect it had on me and how much I had to unpack, and let go. Go ahead.
Were you truly oblivious to what you were dealing with? Or, did you have an idea of these issues existing and then the therapist kind of pulled it out? And, and how willing were you to allow the therapist to dive in? Because I know with me, and we're going to talk about this after break. I'm just going to set the stage for it. I know with me, when I was going to therapy, I was really resistant to the therapist tapping into certain parts of my life. because I didn't feel like unpacking it. You know, I'm like, yeah, we can talk about this because I can handle this, but I don't want to go over here because that's going to open this door and nah, I'm good. You know, and just for those who are watching, you know, how easy was it for you to get into therapy? Hey, Cuzzo Keisha, how easy was it for you to get into therapy? Or did you feel that I don't, you know, I can handle this kind of stuff. You know, I'm Black. I'm resilient. My people have been through worse. You know, this is first world problems, you know. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, Daryl. So keep that thought. But I want to just lay the foundation to see where the village is at when it comes to mental health and therapy. And I would love to hear some mental health success stories. So those of you who are watching right now, use that thread. Type in the chat. You may save a life. Type in the chat. Give me some mental health success stories. We'll be back in 2 and 2. What up, village? We are back with special guest Daryl Walter. Yes, I went and changed. I threw on something, got a little cool in this room. You know, I'm a particular age. You know, it gets cool.
Got a little chilly over there.
A little chilly up in here. But Daryl, before the break, we talked about just your experience of mental health, and I posed a question, you know, in the chat to see if people were willing to open up and just, you know, give us some success stories about their therapy experiences, because I still know a lot of people are resistant to therapy. They don't trust therapists. They don't want to open up. And I get it. Us as Black people, we're predominantly raised to believe what happens in this house stays in this house. Don't you go out there tell nobody our business or what we're going through. And we carry that. We just really hold on to that. So for you to take the first step and honestly enter into therapy, was it scary for you?
Yeah. Okay. So can I just be real? It was scary, but can I cuss? I didn't give a shit. Okay. I didn't care if it hurt because here's my thing. Like, I get it. You don't want to go to therapy. You don't want to share your dark secrets, but how's that been working out for you? See, It's not working out. You know, when you get to a point where you're tired and and it's like, you know what, I want whatever's on the other side. If it's gonna hurt, if I gotta cry. And then my second thing, and I'm very honest with my therapist, I'm like, look, I'm paying you. I'm not coming in here to sit quiet, to beat around the bush and for you to pry nothing out of me. For the amount that I'm paying for you, I was like, get to work.
Right.
And so we got to work, and I just want to put a disclaimer. You know, a lot of people don't realize there's different types of therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, the first part of therapy that I did was called EMDR, eye motion desensitization reprocessing therapy.
EMDR, eye motion. Okay.
Desensitization reprocessing therapy.
Okay.
So basically, what that is, in a brief synopsis, is, let's say you have traumatic experiences. Like I had some traumatic experiences. So you basically literally go back to that memory.
Okay.
And you kind of go under like a calming hypnosis, and you go back to that memory and you process the feelings and you process the emotions and the memories that come out. It's very ugly. It's very rough. It's very raw. However, at the end of it, your connection to that emotion and that memory is shifted, and it's no longer affecting you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it. I like what Lakeisha Walker just was courageous and bold enough to share. She said, I now know people's actions are not about you. Their actions are about them and their internal struggles. And it's something, because I had this same conversation with some young Black gay men on yesterday, and they were talking about how they don't feel safe going into certain spaces, or they don't want to go into certain spaces for fear of being ostracized or whatever. And I'm like, well, if you're scared to go into a space, then that means that you're giving that space the power. And I know it can be difficult to do, because no one wants to be ridiculed. Nobody wants to deal with all that. But at some point, we have to just enter in and be ourselves 100%. And whoever is not comfortable, then make them leave. You know, and I've learned that. Hey, Dijon, how you doing, fam? And I just think that it's important for people to understand their power and understand, you know, their presence matters. You know, and so often we've allowed people to be clowns in their circus, and we trying to go in there and be entertained. It's like, no, you do your own thing. I'm here to have a good time. You here to have a good time. Let's just have a good time, because you're focused on me when I'm not even thinking about you. You know, so I just think it's important for people to just navigate their space accordingly, and don't let anybody dictate where you can and cannot go. Of course, be safe and use common sense, but don't just shy away from spaces that you want to go to because you're like, well, they're not going to like me there. They're going to call me this and call me that. They're going to call you that whether you go or not.
Right.
You know, so how did you grow from it, Daryl?
All of this goodness and chocolate that you see here.
All this glory. All this glory.
So when I went to therapy, my goals were to have better friendships and relationships.
Okay.
You know, platonic and romantic, and with myself. So how did I grow from it? The biggest thing is perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And mentality. Like I would say, like you were talking to those young men about going to spaces, I would say also that you don't have to go to spaces where you don't feel comfortable. A lot of times, you know, we feel like, oh, I'm going to go here and I'm going to be strong. And it's like, no, you don't have to be strong. You don't have to go there if you don't want to, or you can choose another day. Or if you're in situations where you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to stay in those situations. Like,
but don't go. But if you don't go because you don't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But don't be the little puppy sitting outside the window wanting to be inside when you have every right to be inside, but you don't want to make folks feel uncomfortable.
Right.
You know, and I think that's the thing I have a problem with. A lot of Black people, gay, straight, or other, we spend so much time trying to make others feel comfortable that we downplay our authenticity. because we don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. Some people call it code switching, which is fine. You can code switch when appropriate, but at the same time, don't lose yourself completely because you don't want others to feel uncomfortable, because others can really care less how you feel when they're in your space. And they're going to make you adapt to their environment because they're going to want to have a good time in their space. And like, well, you can either fit in or you can get out. You see what I'm saying? And I did a workshop over the weekend. I did a DEI, diversity and inclusion workshops. I do those now too. You know, the brother's trying to bring in all kind of income. So I did one, and I talked about how a lot of people of color, you know, we are very accommodating to Europeans. Very accommodating. When they come into our spaces, we like, oh my God, don't play that song because we don't want to offend Miss Millie. Oh my God, don't put that out. Don't act a fool in front of these people. You know, and it's like, but if she ain't here, we gonna cut up. We gonna play spades. We gonna play tonk, bid whiz. We gonna eat spaghetti with hot links in it. We gonna do all this kind of stuff. But because we don't want to make others feel uncomfortable, we will downplay our authenticity. But I guarantee if we go to their house, there will be raisins in the potato salad. They're not gonna take them raisins out because we coming. They ain't gonna season that chicken because we coming. It's not gonna be seasoned. And they know we coming. But they don't eat seasoned chicken. So therefore, I don't really care if Donta's coming. He gonna eat this bland chicken and these raisins and potato salad. He gonna be happy. I'm not accommodating or changing anything to make him feel comfortable. But we do it all the time because we've been systemically programmed to be subservient to a race that has for centuries tried to prove themselves superior. That's a whole nother conversation, whole nother topic.
It is. But let's tie it back in. You know, we say the same thing from different to loop it back in, Donta. And I'm going to be talking about this on my show next week on November 2nd at 4 p.m. About self-worth, about your value. And I think it's not necessarily that we're being subservient, but when we're in the room, the value is here. And what you're saying is when another culture, the white people come in, the value changes, and we feel like we have to change ourselves to meet the value, as opposed to keeping the value that we have, whether or not a different person is in the room or not. Because
a lot of us base success upon white approval.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't feel we've arrived until Mr. Man said we're a success or we're there. Now we feel validated. We can tell each other all day, you're a great person, you're a great person, you're a great person. But until that other come in and say, Daryl, you are the one. What? I've been telling you that for the last 20 years, you're the one, but it don't hit the same as to when the other party comes in and says, yes, now I see you. You have value. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. Mr. Charlie said, I got value, Donta. Also, my words mean nothing because I'm on your level, so to speak. You've already exalted them to be this marker or this benchmark of what success looks like. And I think we need to change that narrative, especially within our own communities, to what we identify and define as success. Success should not be predicated upon white approval. Let me get off my soapbox with this Bayard and Baldwin sweatshirt on.
Preach, doctor.
Let's talk about your show, Daryl. What made you have the gall and the nerve and the foresight to reach out to Pyro Media and say, I want to start a show?
You know, it was a mutual thing. It worked out at the right time. Excuse me. TikTok, you know, sharing my videos and things on TikTok, and just in a space where I want to reach out to Black women, the LGBT community, just those who are, I don't want to say underserved, but just to the minority people that I can reach out. And also, it's a lot of dark stuff on the internet right now. People are really negative. And I just want to bring some joy, some light, some encouragement, some inspiration, make you laugh. It's on Wednesdays at 4:00, so you can catch it, you know, during the day. You can watch it with your kids. I'm not going to be, you know.
Oh, it's a family show.
It's a family show within reason, but even that's questionable nowadays with everything that, you know.
Right, because even the little kids need something spicy.
They see spicier stuff than I do, but it is a show to make people think, to challenge people, You know, like on my TikTok, we've been talking about the young lady in LA that killed the 6 people. You know,
yeah.
and it's again back to mental health. You know, and even I had to change my thinking because I was like, lock her up, throw her in the jail. But when you learn about her history and her background and everything that is involved in it, it's like, should we have more compassion for her? Do we need to do something? You know, how are we really responding to these things? And I'll go a step further. Jeffrey Dahmer, that's another issue, because the reality is he should have been stopped at the first. Thank you very much, brother. Thank you. But he should have been stopped at the first murder, right? The police and the system failed him, but he had mental health issues that went
He was white.
undiagnosed. He was white.
Let's not forget that.
No, he was white, but
that small tidbit, he was white.
Right. And but again, because of his white privilege, it went unnoticed. Kanye West,
Exactly.
because he's a billionaire, because of his fame, these bipolar and these breakdowns that he admits to is going unnoticed, and they're treating him as if he doesn't have issues.
That's what I
You know what I mean?
talked about last night. I'm like, Kanye is no different than the bipolar homeless man on the corner of King and Crenshaw. He's no different, except he's a billionaire. Both of them have mental health challenges, but Kanye has a platform, and his mental health challenge is not being recognized as a mental health challenge. You know, it's not being addressed like that. And then back to, you know, how these systems work in favor of white people. Even looking at the shooting that occurred yesterday in St. Louis, when you go to news outlets, when they talk about the shooting, they say it occurred at a school, a predominantly Black magnet school.
Mhm.
Okay, what does that matter? When they talk about a white mass shooting, they didn't say Columbine was a white school. You know, they don't say that, they don't put the word white, you know, when anything happens, but they make sure to put that something is Black or Latino or Asian. They make sure to preface it with that as though it should be a special case because it was a Black magnet school.
Right.
People died.
Right.
And to your thing with the lady, for those that don't know, it was a traveling nurse who was doing almost 100 miles per hour down La Brea, and she
130
miles per hour down. She was a bullet speeding down La Brea, and she crashed into cars. She lived. 6 people died. She's discovered to have had mental health challenges. That does not provide any kind of salve to the families who she killed. You know,
it doesn't, but again, it goes back to how are we dealing with mental health? You know, it's obvious that I just in our land, you know, we don't want to provide the resources, right, and the finances to deal with that. But also, Dante, like my show, I want to provide a space because, again, when you talk about them saying it was a Black magnet school and those things that occur, that's a lot for us to take in and weigh on. And I just hope to have conversations where people can walk away and go, okay, this is how I deal with it. You know what I mean? Or walk away feeling better. Or people out there that can't afford to go to therapy, because I was talking to my therapist about it. Listen, I pay out of pocket.
mm-hmm.
And I feel it every time I pay out of pocket. And I understand that people aren't willing to pay that. So I'm willing to take what I learned and share it with others out there in hopes that you can take it, and then instead of, you know, wanting to go and fight somebody or do something crazy or pick up, not that we pick up guns and go to school, but you get my drift. You know, choose better alternatives and ways to deal with situations.
And for me, I don't want a virtual therapist. I don't.
I love it. I love it.
I'm in virtual meetings all day. I am in front of a computer all day. If I'm going to have therapy, I want to sit in front of someone that I can look at, that I can smell, you know, that I can feel their voice. I'm so over computerized conversations. I'm so over virtual experiences. I miss being in the physical presence of a physician. And also to add to that, as a person living with HIV, I have not seen my doctor since the beginning of the pandemic. I have not gone.
Oh,
I have not gone into to see my doctor, and it's like this picture comes up. My doctor, hi Donta, how are you? I'm fine. How you feeling? Fine. Okay. And they type some things. See you in 3. What? No, look at my foot. Check my knee. I need a stethoscope hitting my heart. Go to my back, have me breathe. I need to feel that. And when it comes to therapy right now, because for me, I've experienced so much loss since the beginning of the pandemic. Anything where I'm not in someone's space and they're talking to me, I feel really distant and detached. So it doesn't have the same. And then also when I was in therapy was around the season when my father went missing and my father passed away and all that. So my therapist was virtual. So for me to log into a therapy session, it kind of takes me back, to that season when I was having these virtual conversations. And I'm just like, nah, let me sit on the lobby and you call me in, Donta, they'll see you now. That's just where I'm at.
no, I understand. We're polar opposite. I work in front of people every single day. I see hundreds of thousands of people throughout my week. So
Right.
when I have, but I will say this also, depending on that's why it's important to find the right therapist for you. I have a Black male therapist. He's like the homie when I talk to him. So even virtually, and I did my EMDR sessions virtually also. He made me feel comfortable. So I really think it's a therapist that you have, but all of that, is interchangeable and workable. So,
And then when it comes to Black people too, don't tell me to pray. I grew up in church. I know when to pray. I want a therapist. I don't want to pray. Don't tell just go. You need to just sit down and pray. So you're assuming I don't pray. You're assuming that I don't talk to God. I think that's just something that Black folks, we get beat over the head with that. You just sit down, take some time to spend with the Lord. So you're assuming I don't sit and talk to God. You're assuming that God didn't tell me to go get a therapist, But go ahead, Daryl.
I was gonna say, when people say that, and I love us for real, but when people say things like just pray or I'm praying for you, it is a blanket statement just to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't even think it's an assumption of whether you're praying or not. But, and that's again part of that church culture. We are taught things to say, colloquialisms and wordings to say. When someone dies, I'm praying for you. My head hurts. Just pray. Just pray about it.
Go and meditate. I can't meditate when my head is pounding. I can't.
Right. And then a lot of times that prayer we're taught to believe in, let me say this in the most respectful and right way, but we're taught to believe in miracles.
Right.
We want the boom, cat, cow. We want to pray and then boom, cat, cow. I got cancer. Let me go pray. Boom, cat, cow. The Benny Hinn effect.
Do the song again, Daryl. What is it?
Boom, cat, cow.
Hey.
And then I'm throwing my cane and stuff like that. Which, and let me say this, for those of you out there, that is not out of the realm of possibility, right? But also it's like, prayer is not a substitute for therapy. Prayer is not a substitute for a hug or a phone call or a listening ear.
Right.
And then for those of you who do have listening ears, everybody is not equipped to hear what you have to share.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say it that way?
Yes.
Everybody is not equipped to hear what you have to say. Like I had to change it up. That's why I went to therapy, because I was tired of calling my friends on the phone crying and complaining, and then either they telling my business or I have no resolution. Nothing's happened. And they're looking at me.
Except they call somebody else to say, call and check on Daryl because he's going through some things. I can't tell you what, because he told me don't say nothing, but just know that he needs some support right now. So now they're blowing your phone up and you're like, well, how did you know that I was going through something? Oh, I can't tell you, but the Lord told me to give you a call. No, he didn't. Don't lie on God. Don't lie on God.
Exactly. I went to my therapist the first time, right? And I told him, like, I'm crying. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the problem is. And he was like, it sounds like you're empty. I was like, you're right. He was like, and you're giving from a place you have nothing to give. Yes. Here's a book you need to read. Boom. You know, boom, cat cow. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I would have never got that from a friend of mine. You know what I mean? And it was just like, by the way, the book is called Childhood Emotional Neglect by Dr. Janice Webb. Highly recommended.
Childhood Emotional Neglect. Childhood Emotional. Let me go ahead and get that on Amazon. Childhood Emotional Neglect. I love it.
Childhood Emotional Neglect by Dr. Janice Webb.
I love that. I love that. And so basically what you're saying, Daryl, is that therapy can be a safe space. You know, it can be a safe space. And I also appreciate how you said that everything we go through is not for everyone. Mm-hmm. You know, and me and Eddie, my partner, we dealt with that. I went through a very bad season, and it was like, right, boom, cacao, come on here, Dejan. And we went through a very bad season. And I used to always tell him, I said, right now, I don't need you to listen to respond or listen to try to resolve. Just listen. And be quiet, because a lot of times it was just me just getting stuff off of me. Like I already knew how to handle it, how to deal with it. Don't try to fix it, just listen. And I think that helped us, because now he would always say, am I listening to respond, or am I just sitting here being quiet? You know, I'm like, just sit here and be quiet. Or then I'd be like, why you ain't say nothing? What am I supposed to do? You didn't tell me which one was having, you know. And I think it's important that we establish those parameters in our transparent moments with friends. It's like, I'm just telling you this not because I need your advice. I don't I just need a sounding board to listen to what I'm going through or what I'm experiencing. Do with it what you will, but you ain't got to try to conjure up no potion or no elixir to give to me to drink with hot water and what. No, I don't need all that.
Don't try to solve it. We want to solve a lot of stuff for people, right? You know, it's like the baby who sees the parent crying. And they're just like, you know, if you say, are you okay? When you say yes, it's not because you're okay. That person just wants to feel like, okay,
right.
I don't need to fix anything, right?
Right. Touche. I love it, Daryl. Tell folks again when your show airs. It's
going to be Wednesdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Not specific?
Not specific, but Pacific. And then next week, my first guest is Leanzar Stockley, a relationality expert. And we'll be talking about self-worth.
That sounds okay. And is it going to be on, is it Pyro's page? So it's on
Pyro's page, my page, YouTube, and you'll see clips on Instagram and everything. Mm-hmm.
She's a relationality expert?
Relationality. I hope I'm saying that right.
That's some old new degree she just invented. I ain't never heard that.
He invented.
Okay. Here we go. Well, I'm definitely going to tune in, Daryl, because I want to hear what Mr. Relationality got to say about me and my life and how do I get through some of my hurdles and obstacles. So I'm definitely going to tune in. I am proud of you, man. I'm proud of you for taking the step to start your own show. People are always talking about what they want to do, and then they don't do it. But like I said, we are dead a lot longer than we are alive. So let's get rid of all these excuses and do what needs to be done to live your best life. If you want a show on Pyro Media Network, just reach out to the Pyro Media team. Just go to the links and the websites and all that kind of stuff. And you'll get I think it's a free first-time consultation. I'm not sure. I may be misspeaking, but you'll get a consultation about how you can develop your own content, your own show, and all that kind of stuff. Try it. If you don't like it, guess what? You can stop. Just try it. If you don't like it, then say, yeah, this is not for me. But I'll tell you right now, it is a lot to hosting a show. Hosting a show is not for the weak. It is not for the weary. And you must be consistent because it's a lot of competition out there. It's a lot of folks out there offering stuff too. So if you ain't consistent, trust me, you're going to be like dust. They will blow you away. All right. So Daryl, that's my advice to you, my brother. Be consistent. Be consistent. Be on point. Be on time. If you say 4 o'clock, would you start at 4:15?
I won't start at 4:15. Let me tell you, I've been delivered from that demon.
Well,
I've been set free.
I love it. Y'all listen. listen. I tell you, Daryl, you've been a phenomenal guest. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I love you. Kwame, you don't have to take them out. We can go out together. That wraps up tonight's show, y'all. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure to check out the Donta Show on YouTube, youtube.com/Donta Morrison, youtube.com/Donta Morrison. Like I said, 2023 is going to be a whole lot of updates, upgrades, and just new ways to just learn more about yourself, the community you live in, how we can all be great. Follow me on Instagram at Donta_Morrison. And Village, you know I love you 100%. Thank you for rocking with me and Dana these years and just being someone we can come to get our release on these Monday and Tuesday nights. And if nothing else, check out the Daryl Walters Show next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on Pyro Media Network. So that's it, y'all. Until next Monday, please stay safe. Stay safe. Tell someone that you love them. Hug a friend in need. Physical touch goes a long way. Hug a friend in need and do what you got to do to live your best life. I love you. There is nothing you can do about it, and I will see you next Monday. Good night.
Peace.